Hi guys! Today I'm resetting my everyday makeup drawers for the summertime. I'm so ready. This is my Shop My Stash series where I basically just try to make sure I'm rotating through my whole collection. So for me, because I have a pretty big collection, a lot of products in each category, it's hard to make sure that I'm actually using everything throughout the year. This year I just started recording how many times I've used each product in my collection, so it allows me to really see what products I've used a ton so far this year, what products I maybe haven't used yet. And so as I'm going through my drawers and picking out a new round of products, I'm gravitating to those products that I have not used as much yet this year. But it actually works out well because I'm realizing that a lot of the things I haven't used much yet this year are things that are actually perfect for the season that we're entering. Like, I haven't really reached for a lot of my summer lip colors or summer blushes yet this year because we're just now entering summer. So those are a lot of the things that will be making their way into my everyday makeup drawer this time around. So I'm very excited to pick out a new set of products. First, of course, I'm going to give you a recap of everything that I've been using over the past month. I think it's been like 1 or 2 months since my last refresh of my drawers. So I'll also share with you looks that I created and just kind of thoughts on everything, mini reviews. I actually have some declutters this time around as well. Then we'll pick out the new rotation, and then always at the end I like to do a get ready with me where I showcase some of the things that I picked out. So before that though, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Ekster. So Ekster makes wallets and accessories that are designed to be streamlined and time-saving, which are two things I didn't really realize I was severely lacking in my previous wallet that I was using, and I had been holding on to the same fast fashion wallet for the past 7 years at least. This is what it looked like. It was very much at the end of its life, which was actually perfect timing for Ekster to kindly gift me with their metallic rose gold card holder. I have fallen in love with this, and this has just made my life so much easier. I love the button that you press to fan out the cards. It also has a strap that you can use to store extra cards, cash, or even their finder card, which is what I have in mind. That way you can track this if it ever gets lost. I'm someone who rarely carries cash, so I just love the minimalist small design of this card holder. They also make some folding wallets like the Ekster Wallet Pro that they generously gifted Nathan for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Wow. Ooh, Ekster Wallet Pro. All right.
If you know a dad who could use an upgraded wallet this Father's Day, Ekster is having a sale on their website up to 40% off, and you can get an extra 10% stacked on top of that if you use my code Sarah Rose. So I'll leave the link to shop that sale down below. Thank you so much to Ekster for sponsoring today's video, and let's get into the everyday makeup drawer. So here is the face drawer. I have actually one declutter from here. I have just decided to finally let this go. It's the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I just have such hit or miss experiences with this that I just can't trust it. It is so often for me that this pills, my makeup gets really clingy on top of it and it just looks so bad. I've tried applying it all different ways, patting it in versus rubbing it in, switched up the products I pair with it, and it just seems like even the things that I thought worked well with it, sometimes they just don't. So I just think this is way too hit or miss for me. I know some people swear by this, but I'm just not even that big of a primer person anyway. I don't really like to wear it every day, so the thought of trying to use this up when it has been so all over the place, it's just not worth it. So that's gonna go. Something I've decided to keep in here is the NYX Blur Screen SPF 30 primer. Really nice. I like to just wear this as a sunscreen, but I like that it also doubles as a primer. It expires in December of this year, so I think I just want to keep it in my everyday makeup drawer, or maybe even move it over to my bathroom to use it as an everyday sunscreen. Another primer I had in here, loved it, and I think I'm actually going to keep it in still because it's just so perfect for summer. The Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Hue Drops. So this is like the bronzy version of those dewdrops. Love the dewdrops. Also love these. I actually really like this as a primer. Sometimes I will wear it as a primer just on top of my sunscreen. I know that's, I don't know, maybe not advisable, but I let my sunscreen sink in for ample time and it doesn't seem to mess with it. I mostly use chemical Korean and Japanese sunscreens these days, and it just doesn't seem to interfere with those the same way that it might like a mineral sunscreen, you know? So anyway, that's how I've been using it, and it's just beautiful, especially as I've been kind of getting into self-tanning. I'm not self-tanned like at all right now, but I've been using that Tanologist gradual tanning lotion, and so it's nice to have something to kind of help my face match my body a little bit since I don't really apply self-tanner to my face. Used this a ton. It is officially my most used foundation in my collection this year so far. The CoverGirl Clean Invisible. Absolutely love this stuff. It's like $7. I wear the shade Ivory. My only complaint about it is that the cap gets really messy. It kind of, like, it hasn't leaked outside the cap, but I'll show you what I mean. So there's always just like a little bit of foundation leaking into the cap. I try to like wipe it off every time, but it just never quite stops doing that. So that's just kind of something I've learned to live with. I mean, for a $7 foundation, I can overlook that because other than that, I adore this. I think I've used this close to 20 times now this year, just having it in my everyday makeup drawer. This, out of all the base products in here, actually ended up being kind of my everyday foundation, just because it is the perfect amount of light coverage. It still feels like a foundation though. Even though it has light coverage, it doesn't really feel like I'm using a skin tint. Like, it feels a little bit more substantial than that in a weird way. It has such a natural skin-like finish. And for me, the best way to apply this is just with my fingers. I don't even tap over it with a sponge afterwards. I just blend it in with my fingers and it goes on perfectly because it's so liquidy. It just kind of soaks into the skin really quickly. Soaks, that's a weird word to use there. Sinks into the skin really quickly. Like, it kind of just looks like your skin. So I absolutely love this. I will say it can settle into my smile lines throughout the day just because it is a foundation. I think any foundation is going to do that. I have some skin tints that don't, that are like very sheer coverage, but this, like I said, is a little bit more substantial. The finish is absolutely gorgeous. Can't get enough of this, but I am going to put it away because I know I need to use some of my other foundations. This, I am sad to say, I have fallen out of love with this product. This is my second bottle of this. I completely used up the first one, the ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation. I wear the shade Fair 30N. Great shade match. I think what I've come to conclude is that I just don't really care for anything more than a light coverage foundation these days. I used to really appreciate medium to full coverage, but lately my skin has just been in a really good place. Haven't really felt the need to wear higher coverage products, and I think that's why it just feels heavy. Well, it doesn't feel heavy. It looks heavy on my face. It looks like too much. Whereas I feel like something like this, plus just some powder on top, is like, it's really all I need. I don't think I would go so far as to declutter this yet. I think I just want to take a break from it, but right now this is just not my preference. Oh, still love this. This, I would say these are like my top two complexion products right now, both drugstore. But the NYX Buttermelt Glaze Soft Glow Skin Tint. I wear the shade 01 Whipped Butter, and I absolutely love this. This, I would say, has less coverage than the CoverGirl Clean Invisible. This is truly sheer to light coverage, like a true skin tint. I absolutely love it. It does have a little bit of a tropical kind of sunscreeny smell, which I don't mind. It's not overly strong. After I've initially applied it, I don't notice it. But yeah, I've really come to enjoy this. So I'm going to keep it in actually for the summer because we're getting to that time of year where I'm getting like scared of the sun. Like, it is so bright out there. But yeah, I'm going to keep this in here because it's the only like base product with SPF that I have at the moment. So this is going to be kind of my go-to for that purpose. These were the concealers and correctors I had in here, and I am going to keep the Natasha Denona in, but put the other two away. The Urban Decay Stay Naked. This is an old favorite. I don't love it as much as I used to. I prefer something more like the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum, which I actually just finished. That was in here as well. It's finished now if you saw my community post here on YouTube. That is done, which is so exciting. I kind of miss it, but I have lots of other concealers that I'm excited to focus on now. This one, I got a good number of uses out of it, so I'm going to put it away. And then same with the Milani Conceal and Perfect. I love this, actually. This actually has really grown on me. I love the thin consistency of this. It's so nice and thin. I just tap it on with my fingers. I like to apply color corrector over my concealer. I don't know if that's just me, but that's just what I do. I don't know. People comment like, oh, that's weird. I thought you were supposed to put it on under concealer, but that's what I do with this. I just tap a little bit of it on top of my any concealer. It pairs especially well with the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer, especially because it kind of like lightens and brightens this concealer shade just a touch, which is good because it's just a hair too dark for me normally. Although it's been really to have on hand as I've been self-tanning because it is a little bit too deep normally, so it's kind of perfect when I'm self-tanning, go figure. But for that reason, because I'm kind of in a self-tanning mood right now, I'm going to keep the Natasha Denona in, but I will take out the Milani Conceal and Perfect because I have another color corrector in mind. So that's that. Then we have, oh, an exciting update on this product. I not only hit pan, but I hit massive pan in this Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder. Look at that. I've used it quite a few times since I initially hit pan, and so I've just expanded it quite a bit. Definitely thinking I can use this up this year, but now that I've gotten so much use out of it, I'm going to put it away and get another powder in here, maybe try to hit yet another pan. Then the other powder I had in here was a loose powder. It's the e.l.f. Halo Glow in the shade Light Pink. So this was what I used to set my under eyes, and then the Essence Brighten Up I would use on the rest of my face. I actually really love this powder just as an all-over setting powder. I don't use it so much as a brightening powder as I do just an all-over setting powder because it's pretty much translucent anyway. But the e.l.f. is just absolutely beautiful on the under eyes. This is what kind of got me into pink under eye powder to begin with. It's just gorgeous. It's a super subtle pink, so it doesn't end up looking obviously pink on the under eyes, but there is just something so brightening and perfecting about a pink powder. So really loved using that, got a ton of use out of that one. Both of those actually. 36 uses in each of these powders so far this year, which I think all of those came from them being in my everyday makeup drawer. Let's look at the bronzers now. One I was hoping to hit pan on, but didn't, is the Fenty Sunstalker bronzer in Into Sun. This continues to be my favorite bronzer. I just love it. It is so easy to work with. I definitely will roll it back in later this year, but I do need to give my other bronzers some love. Also had so much fun reacquainting myself with the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer, which is really just a fancy name for a cream bronzer in the shade Light. This is also just everything I love about a cream bronzer. The perfect caramel bronzy tone that's not orange at all, yet still warms up my complexion. I just love it. I just love it. The other bronzer I had in here was the Glossier Cloud Paint in Sail. This is a beautiful bronzer as well. Another one of my top favorites. Look at how much of this I've used. I think this is the lightest shade it comes in. I usually go for the lightest shade. I think all three of these are the lightest in the line, and I just love how subtle they are. I love how just foolproof they are, and this is really one of the few liquid bronzers I've tried that I actually like and find enjoyable and easy to use. A lot of liquid bronzers I found to be patchy, hard to blend, just overall a hassle. But this one has been just such a joy. The Oma contour stick is finished, or I'm considering it finished. I decided not to dig it out. It doesn't even smell that great. The highlighter actually still smells fine. It smells like nothing. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this in here. I think this is a beautiful product for summer, and that's something I want to maybe use up this year, so I just want to keep working on it. It is, I think, my most used highlighter of the year so far, so that's nice to know. I had two liquid blushes. The Rare Beauty liquid blush in Hope. Really fell in love with this. I'm loving this kind of soft, warm pink color for my cheeks lately. I also had the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in Bold Faced Lilac in here, which I do really like, but I feel like I've just been more in the mood for warm tones these days. Not me buying this thinking, oh, this is the perfect color for spring, not remembering that I prefer warm tones in the spring. Anyway, another example of a warm blush I'm loving is the Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek in the shade Work. This is so pretty. It's like a nude apricot kind of color. Like, how pretty is that? It's so warm. I will say about this Milk one, it's kind of sheer, so I have to kind of pile it on if I don't want it to fade kind of quickly. But I don't really mind that because I would prefer something to be sheer and buildable. That's kind of my preference when it comes to cream cheek products. I can definitely appreciate a super pigmented liquid or cream blush as well, like these two here. Obviously kind of the opposite of slow and buildable, but I do like both just for kind of different reasons. But this is one that, you know, if you go in light-handed with it, it doesn't last all day. I feel like it does kind of fade quickly. However, if I pile it on, get it almost looking more bold on my cheeks than I would like it, and then set with like setting spray, I do feel like it lasts all day. I feel kind of the same about the Sigma Cream Blush in Pashmina. Gorgeous coral shade, beautiful for this time of year. Really enjoyed it, but it is another sheer but buildable cream blush that I do feel like I have to apply more of it to begin with to get it to last all day. But yeah, like small amounts of this just don't seem to hold up that well throughout the day. So that's something I'm noticing. I've always felt like most of the time I don't really have issues with my blushes fading, but sometimes I think it can be the case with these more sheer buildable blushes that a sheer layer just doesn't hold up as well as like a thick layer, if that makes sense. Not that I'm applying like a crazy thick layer of it, but I mean like just, you know, it needs a little bit more built up. Okay, for powder blush, I really fell back in love with this Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush in Shimmery Rose. This is so pretty, and it's really a blush lighter, but it manages to be like dark enough to be a blush color on me while also not being too dark to be kind of a highlighter-y color. I do feel like I have to be careful with this. Like, I can't apply too much or it can get too metallic looking on my cheeks, but as long as I just don't go overboard with it, which I don't normally. I mean, well, I've been guilty of going overboard a time or two, I will admit. But most of the time I do try to just like use a lighter hand with this, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It's so ethereal. I feel like it kind of gives the Sabrina Carpenter blush look. She always has such glowy pink cheeks. This I feel like gives a similar look. Enjoyed it so much. I've also have fallen head over heels for this What's Up Beauty Ciate blush. I also love the bronzer. This is the blush in the shade Peaceful Pizza. How gorgeous is that color? I love the mixture of the bubblegum pink with the bronzy color, along with the blue, which almost throws you off at first, but I love the addition of the blue because all swirled together, this just makes the most gorgeous nude baby pink. And it's a baby pink that I feel like, because it has those nude colors mixed in, it looks so natural on my cheeks when I often feel like very cool toned colors can look a little strange on me. This isn't that cool tone. Like, it has cool tones in it, but it's also balanced out by the warm tones. I just love it. It's like the perfect depth also, where I don't have to be too careful with it. These were the two powder highlighters I had in here. Absolutely love both of these. Fell back in love with both of them. They're both ones that I don't think I had used much yet this year, but I have definitely changed that. I've used them both a ton now. The Spark Cosmetics highlighter in Ethereal Glow. I think this is actually the only shade, unless they've expanded the line and I'm not aware, but at least initially this was the only color that this came in. It is a totally clear highlighter. It looks white, but it's clear with the most gorgeous wet looking sheen that, like, looking at it in the pan just doesn't do it justice, but it is so pretty. One of the prettiest highlighters in my collection. The Nabla Skin Glazing is another one of my top favorites. This has been with us for a long time, and it's been one of my absolute favorites for just as long. This is the shade Privilege, and look at just how stunning this kind of peachy golden color is. It's very natural looking on the cheeks, but it also can really pack a punch if you want it to. Okay, this was fun. This was the Flower Nose liquid highlighter in the shade Pixie Dream. It almost, at least in person, it has more of like a reddish orange flip to it as well. You can kind of see it in like lower light, but yeah, really cool shade. It's something that I use just a really tiny amount of, but I just tap it onto my cheekbones with my fingers. Gorgeous for like warm toned spring and summer looks. So really had fun with that, even though I'm not usually a big liquid highlighter fan. This one is just so stunning. Then these two setting sprays I got a ton of use out of. The Revolution Sport Fix Lasting Hold Fixing Spray. Really like this for a fragrance-free option. Not that I don't also use scented ones, but it's kind of nice because sometimes it can be like fragrance overload with some of these setting sprays. And it also just works well at locking in my makeup. I feel like if you're looking for a good affordable long wear setting spray, this one is really great. And then also, this is the Flower Beauty Seal the Deal Hydrating Setting Spray. I definitely feel like I made a good dent in this. You can like see visible progress since the last time. But yeah, I really like this for a more hydrating, glowy setting spray that still helps to lock my makeup into place. Lately, I love setting spray. I use it almost every single time I do my makeup. Moving on over to the eye and lip drawer, I actually have a couple more declutters from this drawer. Let's just start with this one. This is the NYX Worth the Hype waterproof mascara. I've decided this year, I used to keep mascaras even if I hated them and just like used them until their expiration date as much as I could. But I've decided this year I'm not doing that anymore. Like, if I don't like a mascara, I'm not going to force myself to use it. Why would I do that when I could use one of the other ones that I like? That I am never able to fully use up a mascara before its expiration date anyway. So I want to just be able to use the ones I like. So I've just decided no more keeping around mascaras I don't like. And this is one I just do not like. It's waterproof, therefore it's really hard to remove. I lately have been using the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Cleansing Balm, which works really well for everything else except this. It just does not get it off, which is fine. I understand it's waterproof. So then I go in with the Garnier Micellar Water that's meant for waterproof makeup, and it still doesn't get it all the way off. It's just so irritating, but not only that, it doesn't even have the good qualities of a waterproof mascara that would make you want to buy a waterproof mascara. This totally flakes and smudges on me. That's like the whole point of a waterproof mascara is not to smudge and flake. So there's just no reason to keep this because it's annoying, it's a hassle. It also just doesn't even make my lashes look that good. So I do not recommend this. I do not like it. It was a waste of money. So the black mascara that I'll be opening to replace that one, because now I actually only have the e.l.f. Lash Extender in brown open, is this one I actually received in PR, the Kulfi Baddie Lash Mascara in black. It's a tubing mascara. These days I only use tubing mascara, so I was really excited to see that this was a tubing one. So I was actually so excited to try it. So now that I'm not going to suffer through using this anymore, this will be the black mascara that I go for. And I'll actually try this in the Get Ready With Me portion of this video as well, which will be at the end. So that's an exciting mascara update. These will be my 2 mascaras that I'm using. Lately, I've really been getting into this Fenty Fly Liner in the shade In Big Truffle. It's a brown. Been using it a lot. I just really like a nice sharp brown wing these days, and this is a true brown. If you're looking for a brown eyeliner that actually looks brown, I feel like a lot of brown or like brown liners just kind of look like just murky and dark, but not necessarily brown. This is brown. Okay, another unfortunate declutter. I tried to revive this. I actually bought Inglot Duraline specifically so I could try to revive this, but also, I mean, that'll come in handy for lots of things. But I bought Inglot Duraline for this. This is the Danessa Myricks Infinite Chrome Flakes in Strobe Light. You saw me in my last everyday makeup drawer try to revive it with Inglot Duraline. It didn't really work. A lot of you guys were saying like I needed to really get in there and mix it around with a tool. So it's a really cool, interesting kind of jelly-like, glittery, flaky shadow. It's almost hard to even portray like what it feels like when you touch it, but I think it's just dead. Like, it's just not working well. When I try to pick it up, it's just this like oily residue with like barely any of the flakes of glitter. And this is why I don't really like to buy this style of eyeshadow anymore. Gel and liquid shadows, those things I find just dry out so quickly, and it's just not worth it. I don't use up eyeshadows that quickly, so these kinds of things, like cream shadows are fine for the most part. Like most of the time those will last a long time, but this kind of thing I think barely lasted me a year, maybe just a little over a year, and I just can't use up eyeshadows that quickly. Hopefully this Inglot Duraline will come in handy for other things, like this product actually, because this is starting to get a little bit dry, I've noticed, which can happen with these ColourPop Super Shock shadows. This is the shade Ritz. Love this. Love it as a topper for so many looks, or just by itself. It's just a gorgeous color. But it is getting kind of dried out, so I think I'm going to try the Duraline. I've heard that's like the best thing to use for something like this, so we'll try that. But for now I'm going to put this away because I've been using it a lot, and it still works fine. I just kind of have to like press a little bit harder with my finger to pick it up, you know? This I've been enjoying testing with various eyeshadow primers because, yes, the eyeshadow primer video, it's still coming. It's just taking a long time to gather my thoughts on all these primers because there's so many of them, but this is actually being a good product to test with eye primers because this is a sort of crease-prone cream shadow that some primers I found do help extend the wear of it. So that's been useful. I actually might keep this in here because I kind of want to keep testing it with some more. This I did use a handful of times, especially when we traveled. We went to visit my aunt and uncle over like back in April, and this I brought with me and used it a couple times. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize Cream Shadow in Rose Gold. Beautiful shade. This is a cream shadow I've had for a long time, and it is still just as creamy and just as, like, applies just as well as it did when I first got it. So definitely holds up, at least has held up for me for a long time. But yeah, I really like this. I would like to hit pan on this. I feel like I say that every time I talk about it, but I just try to use it as much as I can because it's a cream product. So, but those two I'm going to put back in my collection, and the e.l.f. will stay here. I don't know. I'm going to put the Inglot away as well. I don't need it in my everyday makeup drawer. Also, Revolution just sent this new tubing mascara. This is the Wrap Lash Mega Extension and Volume Tubing Mascara. I'm very excited to try this, but I need to try the Kulfi first because that one arrived like a month or two before this one did. This one just came in the mail today. And I try to only keep like 2 mascaras open at a time. It's really like the sweet spot for me. So this will wait as a backup. So then we have the lip section, lots of things in here, a couple things that I want to keep in. The Kapari Lip Glossy and Birthday Suit. I'm trying to finish this desperately. It's taking ages, but that's going to stay in. Another thing that I want to keep in is, where is it? Is this, because I haven't used it yet. This is the Essence Soft and Precise Lip Pencil in Happy. Love this in the summer, so I think I just haven't quite gotten into it yet for this year, because it's always like the summertime I really get into this, but I will for sure. I just keep forgetting about it, honestly, but I'm going to keep it in, keep trying to use it. Love this. This actually usually lives in my purse, but since it's been an everyday product, I threw it in here as well. This is the Cocoa Kind Ceramide Lip Blur Balm. Love this. The only thing I don't love is the fact that one of my charms broke. They don't sell this like initial charm, I don't think, but they sent it in the PR package. But the other charm I had on here that they do sell, it's the one that said Be Kind. It broke in my purse, and I had it in there for like maybe 2 months. So it's just, yeah, bummer that it's like $5 and it's not even... I just don't think it's worth $5, I guess, to get a charm like that. But the nice thing is that it has that charm loop on it, so you can use your own charms on there as well if you have anything that would fit that. You know, I feel like a lot of us have just like cute little charms and random things like lying around at home that we don't have any use for, so it's kind of cool to have like a place for your charms. You don't necessarily have to buy the Coco Kind branded ones. I'm gonna put this away is what I'm gonna do, because I really need to love on some of my other lip glosses, so I'm gonna put it away, even though I like have been using it constantly. I used this quite a few times. This is so just mid to me. The CoverGirl Clean Fresh Yummy Gloss in You're Just Jelly. I just don't like how gloopy and stringy this is. I do think it has a really fun flavor, and it does feel really nice and hydrating on my lips. But yeah, I got a lot of use out of it, just kind of keeping it in my purse, applying it throughout the day, but I'm going to put that away. Also, I've gotten actually a lot of use out of this lip gloss so far this year. I think I've used it 14 times now. It's the Rimmel Stay Glossy in Bare Minimum. Very pretty, just nude pink, very basic. The only thing I don't like about this is the scent, but I've kind of gotten past that. It's just not that bad, but kind of smells like baby powder, baby wipes. Not my favorite fragrance of all time, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I'm going to put this away. Really just want to start fresh in the lip category because I do think I used a lot of these things a lot of times. This actually kept attached to my purse for the past couple weeks. It's the Kaja Jelly Charm. I can never remember the name of this. Jelly Charm Lip Stain, I think is what it's called, in the shade Peach Fizz. Very cute packaging, but also just love the color of this. It's kind of a watercolor sort of wash of sheer color. So pretty, so glassy. And the tint it leaves behind is not hot pink, which I really appreciate. Again, I'm gonna put her away because I have lip products that I haven't even used yet this year. So those are the ones I'm gonna focus on. This, however, is staying in because I'm obsessed with this. This is the Queen Musia lipstick in Dorian. This is just the most stunning, adorable spring color I can imagine. And I love it with kind of a more nudie brown lip liner. Sort of like the Jones Road lip pencil in mauve, which is kind of more nudie brown than you would think with a name mauve. Those two together, oh my gosh, just so, so pretty. Yeah, I don't often reach for a bullet lipstick, but this has been my favorite lately, so keeping that in. I will put away the Jones Road lip pencil in mauve to give something else a chance to be in here, but absolutely love this. It's like my all-time favorite lip liner color. It is perfect. The perfect shade. Speaking of Jones Road, their lip tint in mauve is another tippy top favorite. Look at this gorgeous nude color. I love a My Lips But Better shade like that. And yeah, this is just so easy to throw on. It definitely has a tint to it, but it's kind of sheer and buildable, so you can layer it up for more color or keep it one layer for less color, and no matter what way you wear it, you literally don't even need a mirror to apply this. It's just so easy, and I love that kind of lip product. But again, gonna put that one away. A couple like interesting lip stain sort of products I've been experimenting with. We have the Sachu lip liner stain in Hazel. I actually brought this out of my like declutter box because I just wanted to try it again. And it's kind of cool. I decided to keep it actually because it's just kind of a cool product. I'm into lip stains these days, and this is just nice because it's so, like, it's such a nice kind of warm nude color, and it doesn't go on hot pink, which I feel like a lot of lip stains, I keep saying, like, just give a hot pink color that I don't find flattering on me. But this is just a different kind of shade. Like, it looks so crazy. It's like black, and you apply it to your lips, let it dry for like 10 minutes, and then peel it off, and it leaves behind this like warm brown lip stain. So I just have to be kind of careful because sometimes I just think it can look a little bit too harsh and dark. So just not leaving it on too long, I think it really is the key, because the longer you leave it on, the more the color will kind of develop and set in on your lips. So yeah, but I'm gonna put that away because I feel like I've made up my mind about it. I do want to keep it actually. Same with this, it's just kind of fun. It's the Wonder Skin Wonder Blading Lip Mask in the shade Lovely. This is the one that has that kind of indigo metallic blue color. So again, you apply it all over your lips, let it dry, and then wipe it off basically. And that blue
kind of just like wipes right off and leaves behind a sort of, again, like warm peachy nude lip stain. And I'm into it. I feel like it goes on looking pretty even. It doesn't look super patchy as long as my lips aren't like really dry to begin with. And it just, yeah, it's a really cool product. So yeah, especially as I've been getting more into lip stains, I do want to keep this. I've got in here the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip in Hibiscus. This is a mini. Really enjoyed this. It's a very, like, little goes a long way type of product. You do not want to apply too much of this or it does get into gloopy territory. But as long as you apply the right amount, it is so pretty, so glassy, shiny, really, really beautiful. So this is the shade Hibiscus, which is a nice rosy shade, very pretty. Another tinted lip balm I love is the Revie Beauty Effortless Lip in Lily. This is a kind of warmer, peachy nude color. Again, so pretty. Reminds me a lot, actually, of the Jones Road lip tint. Very similar formulas on these. And I just love that style of, like, just easy to apply. But yeah, it is just so effortless. So that is so good. So, so good. And we also had in here the NYX Lip Ivy in Caramel Drip. Not my favorite lip stain, but I do like it. I just find the color kind of like a lot sometimes. It's just so warm, which I know I like. I was just saying I like warm tones, but it's like a very caramely color. So I do like to kind of blend it out with my finger so it kind of turns into that slightly pinker version of this color. It's an interesting product. Worth a try if you really like lip stains and you like kind of more opaque, glossy lip stains. And lastly, in here I had the AOA Studio lip liner in the shade Satin, which is a very pretty nude peachy color. Really enjoyed that. Really great cheap lip liner if you're looking for like something really affordable but nice, creamy. I will say these tend to fall out. Like the stick will actually kind of fall out and you have to press it back in. But for like $1.88 or whatever it costs, like that's pretty, just not a big deal, you know. So there we have it. That's everything that's staying in these drawers, which is not much. All right, so let's pick out a new set of products to focus on. Here we have my face drawer. And for primer, I don't have a ton of primers at the moment. I already have the Glow Recipe and the NYX Blur Screen in there. But there's actually one primer in my collection that I've only used once so far this year, so I want to pull that one in as well, especially because I think it's a good one for this time of year. It's the Supergoop Glow Screen. I have the shade Sunrise. This just feels like a good summer product. So as I said before, I'm very into skin tints right now, and I've only used this one once so far this year, the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence. I have the shade 10 Fair. It is a little light for me, so I think what I'll do is just pair it with the Glow Recipe Hue Drops. I'll just layer this underneath, and usually that kind of balances the color out perfectly. So that'll be another skin tint option. I definitely want to have one proper foundation in as well, so I'll go with my favorite slash the one I do really want to use up this year. This is the LYS Triple Fix Serum Foundation. I wear the shade LN3. It's probably going to be a little light when I'm self-tanning, but I can mix it. I actually have a mixing product in mind for deepening foundation, so that'll be no problem. But yeah, I want to add this in. I've only used this 7 times so far this year, so just want to get more, like tons more use on this. I think that'll be perfect. Both of these are more skin-like, and then this one is a little bit more glowy. So just 3 good options that are all very lightweight for summertime, which is definitely what I'm into right now. Okay, I'm so tempted to add in one more. I know this is like probably foundation overkill. Also adding in the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop Skin Tint. Yet another skin tint, I know, but I just am so into this light coverage look these days. This is a little bit more of like a matte option. It's not super matte, but it's more of like a blurring skin tint. I really love this. And I've only used it twice so far this year, so it just feels like a good product for the summertime. Okay, now moving on up to the concealer category. I want to add in a couple things. One, for a light coverage concealer, I want to add the Typology Serum Concealer. I have the shade 1 Fair. This is very interesting. It does remind me of the NYX Bare With Me Serum Concealer. I don't think I like it as much. The shade is actually a little bit darker, so it'll be perfect for self-tanning, actually. And the Typology one can work even when I'm not self-tanned. So I'll have both of those as my concealer options, the Natasha Denona for a more high coverage option, Typology for something more natural. And for my color corrector, this is the e.l.f. Putty Color Correcting Eye Brightener in the shade Fair. It's a very light, very brightening, peachy corrector. I think that'll be good to counteract if either of these two concealers are a little bit too dark. Then moving over to powders, I'm literally just picking the ones that I have gotten the least use out of so far this year. So this one I definitely have to add in. I've only used it once so far this year. It's the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Powder. I have the Baby Bake, which is the mini, in the shade Pound Cake, which is sort of like a light, very, very pale banana powder, I would describe it. You can see it does have a little bit of an off-white yellowy undertone, but it is a just translucent powder. Beautiful, beautiful powder. So I'm excited to just get myself reacquainted with this product. Another powder I've barely used this year, it's the One Size Ultra Pink Loose Powder. So this one I've had kind of a rocky start with. Like, I just don't really love it. Because of the texture. It's kind of clumpy, like it just clumps together, and it's very pink, like more pink, much more than the Tower 28 one that I love, the e.l.f. one. So I'm gonna, yeah, just play around with it, see how I like to use it. Then I also want a pressed powder, so I'm grabbing my least used pressed powder of the year so far, and this is the AOA Studio Perfect Finishing Pressed Powder in the shade Porcelain. Nice light translucent pressed powder, just a good basic powder. I've just been on such a roll with hitting pan on powders. Obviously I don't have much disturbance in this pan yet, but would love to just get closer to that goal on all my powders. So for setting spray, these are the two I'm eyeing here because I think it's been just the longest since I've used either of these. And also this will give me an option for both a dewy and a matte setting spray. So we have the e.l.f. Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray, which I just realized my cap cracked at some point. Don't know when that happened or how, but that's a bummer. Anyway, it is a nice setting spray though, I like it. Not my favorite setting spray, like it doesn't make the hugest difference, but it's like fine enough, you know? And then the Revolution Infinite Mattifying Setting Spray, love this one. Definitely is a little bit mattifying, definitely has kind of that hairspray type feel that like a really powerful setting spray has, but I kind of like that. I feel like it just like feels like it's working, you know? So this one will be great to have, especially for summer. It's getting hot. So now we're moving along to my cheek drawer. So one thing I definitely want to pull in, because this has turned out to be really handy for self-tanning, the Revolution Bronzing Drops in the shade Scorched Light Medium. So these are multi-use drops, as it says. You can use them as a liquid bronzer, which I've done before, really pretty that way. But for me, this is great as a foundation darkener when I'm self-tan, because I don't like to have multiple shades of every foundation. I just think that's way too much work, and I'd rather just have one thing I can use to adjust the shade if necessary. So this has been perfect for that. I can also use the Glow Recipe Hue Drops for that, but this is a little bit more sheer, not quite as pigmented. So I just find I don't have to use quite as much of the Revolution to get the darkening effect that I need. So both of those will be useful, just for different purposes. So next for a powder bronzer, this one I haven't used yet this year, sadly. It's the AOA Perfect Bronzer in the shade Frappe. Beautiful bronzer shade. One of my slightly deeper bronzers. I mean, it's not that deep, but definitely a little bit deeper than like the Charlotte Tilbury, the Fenty, so nice for when I am self-tanned. Yeah, would love to get more of a dip going in here as well. Another thing I haven't used yet this year is the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in the shade Feelin' Shady. This is a very cool toned contour shade. Really pretty, really subtle, but I just want to expand the pan on this, see how much of this I can use up. Another bronzer I just want to play around with some more, especially as I'm self-tanning, is this NYX Buttermelt Bronzer in the shade Buttercup. It is so pretty and warm and like rosy and glowy, and I've had trouble with it, especially because sometimes I just feel like it's a little bit too dark. I know it doesn't look that dark, but once it's on the skin, I wish they had a shade just one shade lighter than this. I'm curious to see how I'll like it when I'm self-tanned. I also enjoy using it as a blush. There's a lot of different ways I can play with this, but this just feels summery to me. It also has that kind of summery, beachy smell. Moving over to blush now, again, I have several blushes that I have not used yet this year, so those are the ones I'm going to grab for first, but especially gravitating towards ones that feel summery and like warm to me, because that's what I'm feeling right now. So one that I really need to use, not that one, this one, is Milani Luminoso. Haven't touched it yet this year. Gorgeous blush, very glowy, very warm and corally. Just such a classic blush color. I actually can't wait to put this on my cheeks. I haven't been in the mood to reach for this all year, but now I am feeling so drawn to it. Another one I haven't used yet, but that feels perfect for summer is the Minori Cream Blush in the shade Scarlet. Look at that shade. I love a warm kind of tomato red. Can't wait to wear that and maybe even hit pan. So I'm kind of just going down the list. Another really summery blush I've yet to touch, but I've been waiting to pull out, is the AOA Studio Plush Blush in the shade Cumulus. How fun is that color? I mean, that's going in as well. Love a red blush in the summertime. You guys know this about me if you've been around a while. Okay, well, it's a crime that I haven't used this expensive-ass product yet this year, so we're putting this in. This is the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Blush Duo in Not Too Much. Also just looks perfect for summertime. I love that warm peach with the kind of the cross between a red, a peach, a rose. Very pretty. Can't wait to wear them both separately and together. And again, just familiarize myself with this because it has been probably 6 months almost since I've used this, which is, like I said, a crime because, I mean, I bought this at the end of last year, so I haven't had it that long. I need to use it. Like, come on. If you're going to spend that much money on something, you have no choice but to use it. So I now have 2 creams, 2 powders, a liquid. Do I want anything else? Okay, another expensive thing I haven't used yet this year, so I'm tossing this in there as well. I actually think I bought this at the same time as that Patrick Ta blush duo last year. This is the Hourglass Unreal Liquid Blush in the shade Vision. Beautiful. I just can't get enough of this kind of juicy, warm, rosy red in the summertime. So can't wait to use that. Oof, you know what, guys? I think I'm actually going to pick just one more blush. I thought I was done, but I can't resist. And also, I just also want to make progress on this. This is the Tower 28 Cream Blush in Magic Hour. I also just don't want to miss out on the perfect time of year to use this. It's this gorgeous, warm, peachy nude. This is another thing that I had my eye on to hit pan on this year, so yeah, let's add this in. I know 6 blushes kind of seems like overkill, but at the same time, this gives me lots of different options. I have reds, a coral. I just felt like I needed a more nude cream blush as well, so this will be perfect. It's a lot, but it's perfect. And then for highlighters, happy to say I've actually used all my highlighters now this year. Going for some of my lesser used ones, this one I think will just be so stunning and it'll go with so many different things, is the Flower Nose powder blush in the shade Eros's Fable. This is from their Little Angel collection. I cannot get over their packaging. It is so gorgeous, very luxurious. And the inside, I mean, that is too pretty. It's the most soft pink highlighter. I think this will be perfect, especially with a lot of those more red blushes. It's something kind of pinky, but also just very natural. And then I want something more golden, so I'm gonna go with my Estate Baked Highlighter in Lit. This has been with me for so long. It's a beautiful baked golden highlighter, totally an unexpected favorite, very underrated, but this is gorgeous. If you ever try anything from Estate, try their baked highlighters, because they're amazing. I actually want to add one more highlighter. Let's do this one. I think I had this in my everyday makeup drawer earlier this year, but I want to pull it back in because I think it's perfect for summertime, and it's also beautiful with those red blushes that I chose. It's the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek in Monster. Look at that shift. You can see the reddish pink shift of it. Guys, I had to pick one more highlighter. I feel like I'm going kind of overboard, but I'm in the mood to use a lot of these things apparently. But this is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Beauty Light Wand. I think this is something that's really pretty on its own or mixed with liquid and cream blushes. So yeah, I just want to play with this some more. Okay, so now for the lip drawer. Couple things from the lipstick container. These 2 things I always have to bring out this time of year. The Bite Lip Crayon in Stinger. It is really that color that you see there on the bottom. It's such a pretty muted red. And then we have the e.l.f. Hydrating Core Lip Shine in Chery, which is a really orangey coral shade. Both so fun and like juicy and summery. So those are like the first things I'm pulling out for this round. Kind of in the mood for the occasional red lip. So I also want to pull in this AOA Bombshell lipstick in the shade Kitten. This is really more of a tinted balm. Kind of similar to that e.l.f. Hydrating Core Lip Shine. Just a nice sheer red. I think this will be fun for some summery looks. So I think that's good for bullet lipsticks. I also had that Queen Musea lipstick in there. For lip liner, I definitely want to add in my Jones Road lip pencil in the shade Nudist because I, of course, have to have a brownie nude. So this will be my brownie nude of the rotation. This, I think, will be really pretty with that Queen Musea lipstick. And then I would like to maybe add some cool tones into the mix. So this one I think will be cute for like some springy, summery, colorful looks. This is the NYX lip pencil in the shade Pale Pink. And it really is a pale like baby pink. There's what that looks like. Much cooler tone than I typically go on the lips, but it's so light that it's kind of subtle. And it can make an interesting pairing with other things as well. So I think that one will be a fun one. For the gloss and like lip stain, lip oil container, one I haven't used yet this year that I love for the summertime is the Ciate Dewy Gloss in the shade Heartbeat. Very fun, warm tomato red. I love this kind of color. And then actually continuing on with the Ciate theme, another Ciate product I haven't used yet that's more nude in the gloss category is the Pump Plump in the shade Blossom. So it's just a like clear, milky, not clear, but translucent milky gloss. Ooh, another thing that's perfect for summer I haven't used yet is the In Beauty Project Sun Balm SPF 30 in the shade Latte. This stuff is really heavy duty. You can kind of see the color of it there. Very pigmented. And when I say heavy duty, I just mean it like it really sticks onto your lips. And it will also stick onto things like your water bottle, your cup, your straw, whatever. Like it will kind of stick around. It doesn't say it's water resistant, but it kind of like acts like it is, you know? But it really does feel nice and protective, and I love that it doesn't have any sort of sunscreeny taste because it is a mineral sunscreen. I actually did a video last summer, shameless plug, reviewing and ranking a bunch of lip SPFs. This was one of them. If you're looking for a good sunscreen lip balm for the summertime, it's definitely that time of year where it's like more important than ever to protect your lips from the sun, so I'll link that video below. And I think I need a lip stain also. I'm gonna grab the e.l.f. I've had this for a long time, but it's their glossy lip stain in the shade Coral Cutie, another kind of orangey color. Very like sheer, sort of watercolory lip stain. I don't know, I kind of wonder if I could use this up. I feel like there can't be much in here. 0.1 fluid ounces. It has started to feel like it's running low, so I don't know, I'm gonna see how much I can use this. Last but not least, so the palettes I'm focusing on right now are my No Pan Left Behind palettes. I'll link my most recent No Pan Left Behind update down below. So yeah, I don't pick from my palettes in these videos, but I do like to pick a couple of my like individually packaged single eyeshadows. So one of my shadow sticks I've yet to use this year is the e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick in Rose Gold. Honestly, a great everyday one and done eyeshadow color. And then while we're at it, I'll actually go ahead and pick another e.l.f. eyeshadow stick because I love these eyeshadow sticks. And this one I think is also great for summertime. It's the e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick in Copper Chic. A little bit deeper, another great one and done shadow look for kind of like a smoky bronzy brown. And then I also want to pick one of my ColourPop Super Shock shadows that I haven't used yet. This is the shade A Little Quirky. It's similar to Ritz, which is another one of my favorites from ColourPop, but just a little bit deeper and bronzier. Look how pretty. And then one liquid shadow I also want to add in is the LA Girl Dream Glitter Liquid Shadow in Rose Gold. This one is getting kind of old, and I just want to try and use it more. Okay guys, I am feeling so excited and inspired by this new rotation of products. So let's go ahead and kick off this round with a get ready with me. Okay, so let's put some of these products on my face. So in addition to this video today, I'm also starting to film clips for a sunscreen stick showdown. And so today I'm actually doing them on just one half of my face. So today's demos were the Beauty of Joseon Sun Stick on this side and the Benton Mineral Sun Stick on this side. So kind of testing them both under makeup to see how they wear, but this is what they look like so far. They both look kind of the same in terms of the matte finish, but yeah, so that is what's going on underneath these products today. I wanted, since I'm testing those two, I wanted to pair them with kind of a trustworthy foundation that I know really well. So I'm using the LYS Triple Fix Serum Foundation today. About 2/3 of a pump of that. Then for my concealer today, I want to use the Typology Serum Concealer. I have the shade Fair. This happens to me with all metal squeeze tube products, where they just like, they get an air bubble in there and then they won't stop coming out for like, okay, there we go. I think we got past the air bubble, finally. Okay, I don't need nearly as much as I ended up getting, but yeah, I have some extra, which I guess I could use to kind of cover up this small zit. Here too. For here, just like some mild discoloration. Might as well just use the concealer all over. So I wanted to give you guys an update on my septum piercing. So I did get my septum pierced back in December. I think it was the first week of December. So it's been almost 6 full months since I got it pierced. And it has been kind of an annoying ride. simply because I didn't know, and I should have educated myself ahead of time, but my piercer didn't tell me either that this style of ring is really not the best for healing because it's like it clicks open and closed, so there's little seams in it. And the ring can twist 360 degrees around in a circle. You know, if like I can't necessarily just keep it in one spot because it's just a circular ring. So I think that's the reason why it has been taking so long to heal. I've also read online that it can take like 6 months to heal. But my piercer acted like it would take like no time at all. She was like, oh, I tell everyone, like, if they just want to try out a piercing, I always recommend a septum because it doesn't hurt and it heals super fast. And so I was like, oh, awesome. Like, that's great. But that unfortunately wasn't really my experience. Anyway, so it's been 6 months. I've been cleaning it every single day with a like saline wound wash and trying to take really good care of it because I didn't want to switch out the ring too soon, even though I learned that this is not the best kind of ring to get. Okay, going in with the e.l.f. Putty Color Correcting Eye Brightener now. So what I've decided to do is I want to get this ring switched out for a like barbell style, which is not my first choice for like the style. Like I really just want a simple, thin, like dainty little ring. But the best style for like actually healing is like the horseshoe or the kind of barbell style. I'm gonna go to a local piercer and see if they can switch it out for me. Now that it's been 6 months, I feel like it's definitely starting to feel healed, but I'm scared to change it out myself. So I just want someone else to change it for me, and I'll splurge and get like the nicest quality metal I can get because, okay, going in with the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer now in Feelin' Shady, but I want to make sure it's like the best quality metal I can get, and just want to have a piercer do it because they know what they're doing, and I don't want to irritate the piercing at all if I change it out myself. So, ooh, I feel like this, I used too much and it's like kind of looking like dirt. I think I told you guys on Instagram, I don't know if I mentioned it in a video, but I was thinking about just taking out the septum ring because I thought it was crooked. Because it had kind of just looked a little bit off, like ever since I got it. But I think I realized that there was actually a little bit of swelling on one side, so that was causing it to look more crooked. It's still not perfect. I feel like it kind of like ebbs and flows as far as like how straight it looks, but I think I decided instead of taking it out and getting it re-pierced, I'm just going to stick with this. But hopefully when I go to a piercer to get it changed, they can tell me if it is crooked, maybe they can advise me on what to do, but I'm hoping that I can just stick with this original piercing because I've heard that it's not fun to get it re-pierced, like it can hurt more. So I don't want to do that if I don't have to. So today for blush, I want to use the Patrick Ta Blush Duo and not too much. This time I am going to just use the method that I normally use, so going in with the cream first and then topping it with the powder. The Patrick Ta method is to actually do the reverse of that, and I'm just going to apply this with my fingers because I need to wash my brushes, honestly. I don't want to put a dirty brush into this nice cream product. So, fingers it is. Oh, that is such a pretty kind of like sunburnt blush sort of color. And it really is like not too much, which is the name of it. But yeah, ooh, that's so pretty. I like that I don't have to be too careful with it. It's definitely like a sheer blendable formula that melts into your skin, so you don't have to be too like careful with how much you're applying. I actually like applying it with my finger. I feel like I'm getting nice precision. Of course, take some on the nose as well. Can't skip the nose. Okay, love that. I'll take a little bit of the Milani cream or liquid highlighter in Pillow Talk, the highlighter wand. Alright, just taking some from the puff onto my finger. These nails, by the way, they're press-ons. They're the Kiss Bare But Better nails, so they're meant to look kind of like natural nails. They have a bunch of different shades of them, but I think this is called Nude Beach. The only thing I didn't like, I do like the way they look. They're really pretty, very elegant, but I did feel like they were they didn't fit my nails as well as Glamnetic nails do. I had to file quite a few of them to fit my nails. They didn't have enough sizes, in my opinion, in the kit. So that was a bummer, and probably I wouldn't get it again just because of that. That's why I like Glamnetic, is because they always have enough sizes. For my under eye setting powder, I'm going in with the Patrick Ta Ultra Pink Loose Powder. Let's try this again. It's been a while. Use this tiny brush. This is the Precision Highlighter brush from Kaleidos. Tap out any creases before I go in with powder. It's key. Because, like, I don't necessarily mind an ultra pink powder on the under eyes as long as it doesn't look bizarre. I think that looks good. I think I might get into this, especially, like, because it is a little darker than my other pink powders. Once again, as I have been self-tanning more, I think I'll appreciate maybe a slightly darker pink powder. For the rest of my face, let's use that Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Powder. Just kind of pick it up straight from inside there. Oh, not my under eyes. I was about to put that on my under eyes too, but I already did my under eyes. It's just that I usually use this brush on the under eyes. Not really setting my cream blusher highlighter right now with this powder because I want to use the Patrick Ta powder blush to just kind of set my cheeks lightly. Been loving this Kaleidos blush brush. This is the blending blush brush. It's so perfect, the perfect shape and size. I'm using that to just kind of set all over my cheeks. I wasn't as into this when I bought this in like the fall and winter, but now that summer has rolled around, I think I'm going to be getting a lot more into this. This color is gorgeous. So one thing I'm noticing is those sunscreens are kind of gathering into my eyelids. Actually, more so the non-mineral one, which surprises me, the Beauty of Joseon one. That's okay, we'll go in with some eye primer. Today I'll use the Milani eyeshadow primer. This is such a good old favorite. While I let that sink in, I'm going to fill in my brows with the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pen in Taupe. I've already laminated my brows with the Ardell Brow Glue. I think for today's eye look, I'm going to use a combination of these things that I picked out. The shadow sticks, the liquid shadow, and the ColourPop Super Shock. I'm actually going to use both of these eyeshadow sticks. I'll take the deeper one first. This is Copper Chic. Just start drawing that into my outer corner. And I'm taking my EcoTools Defined Crease Brush, which I love to use for blending cream shadows. And then I'm taking the Rose Gold shade, and this one is going on the inner half of my lid. Those are really pretty together. I don't know if I've actually ever used them together. Maybe I have. I'm going back to Copper Chic. Just kind of building that up a little bit more on the upper lash line. I'm going to build up a little depth. I'm actually going to take it down below as well. I love that kind of copper smoky liner in the summer. I'm using this winged liner brush from Sigma, the EO6, to just define that a little bit more. Okay, I love that. Now I want to use both of these toppers as well. So I'm taking the ColourPop Super Shock in a little quirky first. And I want to put this in my outer corner, but basically right over where I put Copper Chic. And topping the outer half of my lid with that. This is going to be a very metallic look. Let's take the LA Girl Dream Glitter in Rose Gold, and we're going to top the Rose Gold shadow stick with some of that glitter. Just tapping over it with a finger. Oh, that's pretty. Wow. Okay, I'm excited. Oh. Okay, the Rose Gold is getting up too high now. Uh-oh. Okay, it got up. Oh, wow, this is becoming like a very intensely glittery look. Oh my. Okay, the glitter is going all the way up to the brow bone, it turns out. That was not my choice. Okay, it's actually pretty fun though. I can't lie. Just want to take a tiny bit of this in the inner corner also. So I think today for setting spray, I'm going to go in with the Makeup Revolution Infinite. Kind of more in the mood for matte than dewy. I feel like I already have enough glow happening on my skin. I do just want to tightline a little bit the upper lashes with the Tower 28 one liner in the shade Draw Me. Curling my lashes. I still like this e.l.f. lash curler the best. So today I wanted to try out this Kulfi Baddie Lash mascara. Ooh, it does have a nice, like my kind of brush. Typical tubing mascara brush. Okay, so initial impressions. This is obviously only my first time, but that looks very nice on my lashes. I love a good tubing mascara, but like, look at that length on this side. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that gives them the very like lengthened wispy look that I'm very into. Okay, so I want to stick with the nudeness of this eye look with my lip liner. So this is the Jones Road lip pencil in Nudist. But then on top of that, I think I'm going to try this Ciate Dewy gloss because it kind of goes with my shirt, but it also like just brings more warmth to my face. So let's try that combo. And now for this nice fiery coral gloss. Really like that combo. Okay, this look just feels so warm and summery to me. Dare I say, it actually got me a little bit excited for warm weather. Everyday makeup drawer videos always put me in the best mood because I'm always so excited to use all the new things I picked out. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll leave the playlist linked down below and on the end screen if you want to binge watch more videos like this. Otherwise, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you very soon in my next video. Bye.